Ladies and gentlemen, as well as all of my bandaholics, welcome back. I have a super exciting surprise for you all today. It's really no secret, you already saw the title and thumbnail. Today we'll be taking a look at every single new single-tore Hermes band that were recently released alongside the Apple Watch Series 7 a couple months ago. Now normally I'd only purchase like one or two Hermes bands, but I figured after such an exciting release, I decided to treat myself for the one time and pick up all of them. I do apologize for the delay, by the way. This video was originally supposed to come out way sooner, but my two Hermes Edition Series 7s got backordered super long, and I only just received them a few days ago. Typically, I host seasonal giveaways, but my channel isn't quite big enough yet for an Hermes giveaway, but I may consider a Patreon or channel memberships with exclusive Hermes giveaways that are only available to the members of the channel later on in the future, so be on the lookout for that. But alright, without further ado, here are all of the new leather Hermes single tore with a total count of 9 new Hermes bands totaling more than $3,000. So the least you can do is give this video a like to help this video reach more eyes. Those that are veterans of my channel know I love showcasing all of Apple's official first-party bands under different lighting and pairing them up with different watch casings so you have a better idea of how they'll actually appear on the wrist. The holidays are typically a time where our wallets hate us, so I figured I'd showcase all the new single-tore leather bands in case any of you bandaholics are planning on picking one of these Hermes bands over the holidays, whether for yourself or a loved one. Alright, enough with the introductions, let's begin. Okay, so for those unaware, yes, these bands are severely overpriced, and some styles of Hermes bands cost well more than an actual Apple Watch SE. Seriously, an Apple Watch SE directly from Apple starts at $279, and yes, that's including a band of your choice. Most of these bands with the solid coloring will run you $339, while the bands with more of a pattern or design will run you $449, nearly approaching $500 when considering taxes. So my goodness, why so much money? We'll save those for the end and dissect them a little more and then decide whether they are worth the price or not. And by the way, every band featured here is available on both watch size offerings. So whether you have the smaller 41mm sizing or 45mm, you should be okay while supplies last. Alright, I'm not even gonna attempt to butcher the naming of any of these bands, so I'm just gonna be basic and name them according to color. So first, let's start with the classic, the band I think is most popular among the Hermes single tore line, and that is the all-new gold color. Now, I'm going to go ahead and lump in two bands here. Technically for gold, as of the recording of this video, it's being offered in two strap styles. You got the regular single tore and then the attelage single tore for the same exact price. I know I didn't say that right. So what's the difference? Well, let's put them side by side and figure it out. As far as I can tell, and based off some light research, literally the only research is this larger top lug that Hermes says adds some sort of symmetry to the overall visual presentation. Trust me, it's not that big of a deal. When on the wrist, both more or less look exactly the same. Unless you point it out to people, which would seem a little snarky if you ask me, nobody would ever be able to tell the difference, again, unless you point it out. So rest assured, the only difference again is that top lug that adds maybe a centimeter of space from the lug and the top of the watch, and I guess it looks cool. Hermes tries to hype this simple modification by saying it gives the geometry of the watch an understated update. Honestly, between you and me, Hermes should have named this the Gold Single Tore S Edition. The S standing for same shit. Jokes aside though, let's look at this beautiful golden brown leather that I know 100% will patina to perfection with time. Luckily for you guys, I have the previous single tore in saddle brown. It's seen minimal use. I've worn it maybe a maximum of 4 times, but even in that amount of time, you can see a bit of the patina effect already, especially on one of the loops that holds one end of the band in place. Gold, when brand new, looks exactly like you'd expect from ripe and pristine leather. It's such a nice and golden brown color that over time will morph and change depending on how often you expose it to the external elements, such as moisture, sunlight, rain, and sweat, among others. When brand new, new, it almost even appears to have a slight hue of orange, and I'm excited to see how this band will change over time and gain its own character. You cannot go wrong with gold, as it's simply the classic color for leather, and with stainless steel inserts, it of course pairs up exceptionally well with the standard stainless steel watch, but also pairs well on the brand new Starlight aluminum color. Moving on to our next color, we have lime, quite possibly the most energetic and eye-catching of the bunch. Now, I know I'll be in the minority and probably get roasted for this, but I totally dig this band color and is my favorite from all the solid colors that will be featured. You see, with lime, there are some pros and cons you should be aware of though. Let's start with the cons. For one, if you haven't been able to tell yet, this band is bright, and I know plenty of people who actively steer away from bright and eye-catching bands, and to be honest, I get it. Not everybody wants that kind of attention. A lot of people are more into the darker and more low-key bands. That is completely fine. Beauty is, after all, in the eye of the beholder, so you can't hate on other people's preferences for watch band colors. I so happen to be pretty confident in rocking brighter bands, and for that reason, this is my favorite. It's so bright and eye-catching, and honestly, don't see what lime is doing within the fall release. This for sure is a spring or summer color, since it's bound to catch people's eyes. Another con is the patina process on bright colors that typically aren't common colors for leather, like black or brown. When brand new and pristine, yes, lime looks super good, at least to me, but give it a couple of weeks on the wrist and you'll slowly start to see the yellow leather age. And most people would agree that patina on yellow leather ends up looking grimy and dirty and turns people off the wrong way. That's the thing about those off-colored leather options that aren't black or brown. I don't blame people for not picking up the bright yellow, as the patina after a while does look a little grimy, but what I love is just how bright and energetic it is when brand new, and will surely stand out from the crowd. I also love how on the underside, the yellow stitching continues and runs along the sides of the band to reinforce the durability of it. Even though the underside will almost always likely be hidden, it's still a nice touch. Moving on to my second favorite, a very close second while I add, we have blue lin. And I mean, just look at it. How can you possibly hate on this color? The color looks like a sky blue mixed in with some pastel blues, some shades of light grays, and maybe even a dash of periwinkle in there. It's such an awesome blend of colors, all while remaining cool and collected. All I feel when I see this band is a calm vibe. A stark difference from my top pick, which was lime. Instead, blue lin aims to set a really calming and soothing atmosphere. And best yet, the more muted color allows you to combine it with a good bit of your wardrobe. Whether your outfit is flashy and eye-catching or just going with something casual, this band is well suited for almost any scenario. This band hands down has to be one of my favorite of all time, and was super hard putting it behind lime, but still a 10 out of 10 color, and I'm sure over time will look even cooler throughout the patina process. Moving right along is now we take a closer look at navy. Now I want to say Hermés and Apple have released dark navy leather bands before, but this one I feel is going to be right up a lot of people's alley. Navy is obviously just what you'd expect, a dark yet rich navy color with silver inserts and a silver buckle. I feel like it's nitpicky, but my only complaint with navy is that I wish Apple offered some of these darker colors in a black insert offering. You know, so in the event you pick up the space black watch, you have way more options to choose from in terms of combining them perfectly. With navy being a really nice dark color, it matches up perfectly with the standard stainless steel offering because of the matching metal inserts. But when you consider the space black stainless steel model, the silver inserts against the space black stainless steel is a huge eyesore, at least in my opinion. I feel most people don't care, but I for sure do, and I know I'm not the only one in that camp. Regardless, navy I know for a fact will be a fan favorite. How can you go wrong with such a classic? It's a rich and vibrant navy that at the same time is so low-key yet sophisticated. I can already see a lot of my fellow bandaholic kings rock this band with a navy blazer or jacket. From my experience, dark navies over time will appear even darker, so expect this band to look almost black if you wear it for prolonged periods of time. And now, rounding out the solid single tone colors, we have the Rogue H color, which is this really rich and beautiful wine-esque color that is really pretty to look at, for a lack of a better word. Now, this offering is on the Attelage line of single tours, which is the kind that has the raised top top buckle. Not that it matters, it still runs you the same price as the others at $339. If you've seen any of my prior band reviews, you know I'm a huge sucker for burgundies, and this one here hits the nail right on the head. You already have the classic elegance of Hermès with the stainless steel buckle and clasps, and combined with this beautiful and powerful yet subtle burgundy makes this an absolute masterpiece. Now normally I'd say that the stainless steel inserts limit your choice, but honestly, this band is just too beautiful to even care. I absolutely am in love with how this looks paired with the gold stainless steel watch. Mismatch inserts be damned. I also love just how calm and collected this band appears. Its overall vibe just portrays high class, elegance, all while being low key about it. But there's another better version of this band. We'll get to that one at the very end. And now moving on to technically a different line of product from Hermès. These three all new bands are part of the super cool line of Hermès leather bands that features some form of print or design on the top of the supple leather. Hermès routinely does this and has released some super awesome limited edition designs in the past that are now considered ultra rare, and the prices of these at resale value have heavily inflated prices simply because of how cool and rare they can become. This line costs slightly more than the regular single tour at $449 a pop. Ouch! That's right, you'll have to pay an even higher premium for these distinctly different but bougier offerings. This band is actually inspired by the classic chain Hermès bracelet. It features this really neat modern chain motif in a contrasting color that highlights each color of leather exceptionally well. Literally all three are S tier. It was so hard to choose a favorite. We first take a look at the tan colored band with blue accents. I know I'm really biased, but I love how the design on the leather pairs with my tattoo sleeve. If anything, the tattoos play off of the design, and the design plays off of the tattoos. It's just great. On top of that, the almost nude color of the leather seems to match up wonderfully against my tanner skin color. Overall though, one cannot hate on this band. It's like saddle brown, only 3 shades lighter. And then you have this awesome blue pattern running around the band, and best yet, a matching watch face that is exclusive to the Hermès edition Apple Watches. Each of these style of printed bands has a unique watch face that pairs up perfectly. And for those wondering, on the underside, the tan stitching continues throughout to round out the consistency. Now, the most unique offering of all the bands showcased in this video, hands down, has to go to the black and blue combination. And it's really not hard to see why. This is the only band offering of these 9 that features a black stainless steel metal insert. All the other ones are the standard silver stainless steel. Now, this could either be a good thing or a bad thing. It depends on your preferences. This absolutely looks gorgeous on the space black stainless steel Hermès watch. Combine it with the matching watch face and you are destined to receive compliments everywhere you go. Now, of course, that may mean that for some people, it'll really limit your choices depending on whether you're a fan of the mismatching metal inserts or not. So while it looks excellent on the darker casing colors, it may look a bit off if you happen to have something like the pink aluminum or maybe even the ceramic watches from prior generations, since it's sadly not available on the Series 7. But yeah, like I said, this one clearly distinguishes itself from the rest by being dark and stealthy. I absolutely adore this band and love how the dark plays off of the somewhat bright blue that seems to radiate off the wrist. If you have one of the darker casing Apple Watches, you won't want to pass this one up if you are of course down to digest forking over so much money for these bands. What about the underside though? Yep, you guessed it, the black stitching runs alongside the bottom portion of the band as well. And last but not least, my favorite from the slightly more expensive line, the Rogue H crossed with black. Man, if you thought the Rogue H single tour looked great, this is literally the same thing, only with a very awesome and modern twist with the chain-like print on top of this rich burgundy leather. It just adds to the entire majestic package this band aims to portray. It's an insanely beautiful band combination, but again, I only wish this band was also offered with space black metal inserts. Can you imagine how sexy that would look? In any case, this band is yet another S tier and deserves all the praise for being so beautiful. Of course, one eyesore that's not beautiful is that price tag, but the regular consumer probably won't even think twice, as I understand this is a ton of money. But for those that can afford it and won't break the bank, wow, you are in for a huge treat with this one. And just like that, folks, I want to give you guys a surprise for any of those planning on treating yourselves or a loved one with these beautiful, elegant Hermes bands. Once again, these bands are super expensive, but if you know anything about luxury brands, Hermes knows this is out of reach for a lot of people. And it's why for those who do purchase the band, know they are buying the brand and not so much buying it for the leather or practicality. From my experience, I have nothing but good things to say about the excellent craftsmanship that Hermes and Apple have accomplished together with these luxurious leather band offerings. Once you get over the price tag, and if you can comfortably afford it, you'll want to rock your Hermes band on the wrist 24/7. I do want to know what you guys think though. Which of these 9 showcased is your favorite? Drop your comments down below, and if you want to see an updated band wall video, make sure to follow me over on TikTok as well as my other socials, as that's the best place for channel news, updates, and giveaways. Hope everyone who celebrates has a happy Thanksgiving as we head into December. It just seems like it was November 1st just yesterday. But alright guys, clocking out, but I cannot wait to catch you all in the next video.